Welcome back. I'm Kaidi Tong. It's another sleepless night for the Oquendo family. The 16th night with still no sign of their 14-year-old autistic boy. The search for Avonte is growing now beyond the boroughs. Pix 11's Ellen Marks has the latest.
Kaidi, a national search group that has been involved in many high-profile missing children cases, has now been called in to help find Avonte Oquendo. And they say this particular search presents an extraordinary challenge.
How many groups?
A search volunteer rallying the troops and sending them on their way with flyers to make sure everyone who crosses their path knows this face. Yesterday, Avonte Oquendo's family pleaded for more help from the public to help find their child with autism who cannot speak.
And last night on because I watched Channel 11, they said tomorrow we're going to have a search. Please come out. I pray for him every night.
Emotions run the gamut at the makeshift command center in Long Island City, from fading optimism to encouragement from a possible sighting. Much of this morning's search focusing on an area by Con Ed's Plant and Corporate Learning Center, where volunteers last night reported seeing a thin figure appearing to be eating out of a garbage can.
When we got there, we had the infrareds, we had everything out there, but we everything came up negative. But that gives us hope that he may be around here.
I would like to say that we could pull off some miracle, but you know what? This is a different type of search.
Tim Miller is the founder and director of Texas EquiSearch, a search and recovery organization. Miller, who's worked on the high-profile Natalie Holloway and Casey Anthony cases, is now involved in the disappearance of Avonte Oquendo, who was last seen leaving school on October 4th.
This is a bigger challenge than in a room on Natalie Holloway. It's certainly a bigger challenge than Kaylee Anthony in Florida. I mean, Casey was a suspect in the beginning. We had all the phone records and cell towers and different things. There was areas in Florida, in Orlando, where we could put 150 ground searchers doing things. We don't have that here. We don't have it. I mean, walking up and down streets, we can't knock on every door.
And Miller praised the NYPD and volunteers for their efforts, saying they've done everything possible. He believes Avonte may well have hopped on a train and is no longer in the New York area. Kaidi?
Ellen, thank you. And with us now to talk about this, forensic psychologist Dr. J. Buzz von Ornsteiner. Thank you so much, Dr. Buzz, for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
You have experience working with autistic children and with adults.
Yes.
Do you believe that Avonte, after being missing for 16 days, not able to communicate, 14 years old, do you believe he's surviving on his own?
Well, I'm an optimist, and I have worked with children and adults all the way, the spectrum of cognitive impairments and autism and homeless. And when we are homeless or when we are lost, the survival techniques really kick in, and as long as he can eat, as long as he's able to eat, whether that's through garbaging or stealing, as long as he can eat, as long as he can find a place to sleep, and as long as he can relieve himself, he can survive. Those are our basic skills, and we all have them.
Oh, okay. Do you feel that he's out there maybe being kept by some family or by someone? He's hungry, but maybe hiding in a basement. What do you think is happening to this child right now?
A lot of things. People could be giving him food, and people may not realize who he is. We tend to believe that everybody knows about this case and that everybody's concerned, and I understand that. But believe me, I know people who don't know about this case. I know people that don't want to go to the police. I know people who are homeless and are scared or paranoid about the police. I know people that live in basements. I know people that live in housing that's been condemned. And he may be doing the same things. He may be living in a basement somewhere. He may have found shelter, but he's nonverbal and he's autistic, so he doesn't have the traits to want to communicate. And he also may just be sleeping, eating, and relieving himself down in someone's basement somewhere.
So how do we find him? How do we find this child?
A lot of challenges, because you're not dealing with a child who is going to wave his hands. You're not dealing with a child who is going to want to communicate. It's not in his physical makeup. It's not part of his traits. We are going to have to go out and literally search him out, whether he's in the docks in Coney Island or where he's sleeping in a cemetery.
Right, but as the expert in Ellen Mark's piece said, this search is so difficult because it's an urban setting. You cannot, as he put it, knock on every door.
No, you're right. Eventually what's going to happen is hopefully someone will come forth and pick up the phone and call. we really are relying on people everywhere as long as the information gets out there. As long as people communicate and have it in that mindset that he is out there, that person just has to make the step to pick up the phone.
Dr. Buzz, thank you so much again for being with us.
Sure, thanks for having me.